Alright, you like Void? I like Void. Do you like Collective Obligation? Well, you should, because this thing's really good. And then we have this gun, which is as close to a legendary Collective Obligation as you're gonna get, with things like Repulsor Brace and Golden Tricorn. Also, keep in mind, Repulsor Brace did get a indirect buff going into Season 19, where the Void Overshield was only giving half of its intended actual value, 25% up to 50%. And the Repulsor Brace shield did receive that buff as well, because it's a Void Overshield. Now, obviously, you don't do any leeching with this weapon because it's a legendary, but it does have things like Golden Tricorn as well. Final blows with this weapon grant bonus damage. While this buff is active, grenade or melee kills of the same damage type greatly increase its damage and duration, which makes it a pretty fun choice for something like a controversial Void Warlock, which will be in the background gameplay, and overall can be a pretty fun weapon. Comparing it to some of the other ritual weapons we got this year, like the Reckless Endangerment, the Chain of Command, and then I think the worst would probably be the Cry of Mutiny. And you could low-key make the argument that this is the strongest ritual weapon that we got out of the ritual weapons this year for Witch Queen. And if you don't have it, all you need to do is hop into your favorite core activity, Strikes, Crucible, or Gambit. Not for me personally. Now, I will keep it a stack with you. This weapon does slap on the Void Hunter with the Gear Falcon chest piece. Of course, almost any Void weapon on that Hunter build will slay out. However, as a Warlock main, I do like to kick ass with my Warlock as much as possible. That's why we're using him in the gameplay. That Controverse holds still holding up all these years later. With the Controverse holds on, we do get a lot of extra bang for our buck from the perk Golden Tricorn. Kind of another reason why I went with this setup, at least for the background gameplay option. We also do have the fragment that does allow you to get volatile rounds when you kill an enemy with your grenade. With a setup like this, it would be relatively consistently common. Of course, the Collective Obligation is going to be better because you can just flat out leech all of the Void debuffs. However, this gun is in the same style of weapon, and how it does get a lot of bonuses whenever you are just using Void debuffs, Void weapons, really anything. You combine Repulsor Brace with the Golden Tricorn, which is 1000% the PvE perks that they put on. You can actually have this thing really cook for you. Now, granted, it being so good on a Void style subclass or style of build means it's kind of just a normal old pulse rifle on any other subclass. One thing I will say though, the more times that you have your volatile rounds up and running and eliminating enemies with that debuff applied to them is really going to allow your Repulsor Brace to kick ass and get its ass into gear and providing you with those nice Void Overshields on top of having Devour already, bro. Like, you're gonna be cooking. Like, this gun is not some crazy showstopper weapon or anything like that, but when in the right scenario and the right situation in its desired scenario, you can really tell that this thing can put in some work. You can actually feel the implications of the perks coming together and allow for a really fun style of play if your exotic slot is taken up by something other than your Collective Obligation. Let me know your thoughts and opinions on this gun down below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and you guys be safe.